Good
So,
day, podcast community. We have a special guest here. She's not too far away. She's looking good today, and we're glad to have her on the podcast. Jennifer and I met each other at my self storage unit, and I wanted her to come on and be a guest on our podcast. So, Jennifer, for the people that don't know you, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and then we'll get into our podcast.
okay, to make like a lifelong story short, I am basically a survivor of many different traumas, all of the things that you hear about, but think that, oh, that won't happen to me. Yeah,
Mhm.
went through them, lived them, survived them, capitalized on them. So, my goal now, I think, now that my children are of age and out on their own, is to give back to what I would classify in the social world that we live in as the outcasts,
Mhm.
the weirdos, the black sheep, the addicts.
Mhm.
Because through one of my traumas, I suffered a head trauma
Mhm.
that left me unable to do anything. And not only was I unable to do anything, I wasn't able to communicate. And then I actually experienced firsthand um, a lot of the things that people surrounding me
Mhm.
who were cast out and judged and labeled, stereotyped, as we were taught to do. Everything that everyone had ever described to me, I experienced,
Mhm.
but I couldn't talk about it.
Ooh, I know head injuries. I know trauma, but everybody has their journey that they're on. And I had a
Hmm.
guest on the podcast, and he really helped open up my eyes to what we hear about PTSD, like post traumatic stress disorder, but he used it as
Hmm.
post traumatic stress growth. And he grew up in a concentration.
Perspective.
At 5 years old, he found himself in a concentration camp in Soviet Union, and it's not a typical, path that we see ourselves as a young age of 5, but it helped him grow immensely.
Hmm.
It just
It's all about your mindset.
yes, that was my question to you is like going through the trauma that you've gone through. What kind of growth? You mentioned a great word that I always, I have a course on mindset, goals, and habits. Tell our viewers like the trauma that you went through and the growth in your mindset. How did that make you who you are today with that kind of trauma?
Well, I think the first step in reestablishing my mindset and standing back up and taking it all back um, was, and I didn't even know how to articulate it, and actually someone else articulated it to me
Hmm.
probably about a month ago. And the simplest way I can put it is, you have the choice on whether you are a victim
Hmm.
or a survivor.
Hmm.
You can use it as stumbling blocks. You can pick them blocks up and you can make stepping stones. And it's not on you, it's in you.
Hmm.
That
I
that's
totally
what I
agree.
would break it down to.
What would you say? You mentioned, when we were introducing you and we were talking through that you have a desire to give back. When did that
Yes. Okay.
kind when did that happen? Because that is what we've found on our show and other is those that serve recover quicker than those that embrace it, label it, and use it as part of not motivation, part of how it can hurt you. How did it help you, and what was that like? that you started to say,
Okay, so all of my life, I've been like a giver, a caretaker. Like when I ended up with the head trauma and started actually seeing the doctors because I maintained all of my autoimmune issues
mm-hmm,
almost naturally until I got hurt. And then once I got hurt, nothing worked. Nothing at all.
mm-hmm,
So I had a medical background. I took care of the sick people in my family. I took care of the children in my family. Like I've had people come from out of state and drop their kids off at my house talking about, I know as long as they're with you, they'll be taken care of. So I've always served my immediate village, if you
mm-hmm,
will. Um, some people aren't real happy about that, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
mm-hmm,
But now that my village is grown and they've, broke off and they're creating their own villages and having the medical background that I had, I went for my own education. I went back for my GED after being a high school dropout to take care of my village. I went
mm-hmm,
back and got my GED. I got my associates. I was almost done with my bachelor's when I had to let go of school because my village needed me more, kind of thing. So now that I've experienced everything that I have in all of these different realms of people, the knowledge that I had to learn after I got hurt, because why is what I'm doing not working? Like
mm-hmm,
I understand my body more than anybody else and it's not working. Why? So studying. And what I have come to learn is trauma on the brain, no matter where it comes from, whether it's an emotional trauma, your marriage didn't last, you lost a child, you lost a parent, you lost a best friend, um, addiction, drugs are hurting your brain, chemical imbalances, right? You don't have the right chemistry in your brain to keep all of the different components functioning properly,
mm-hmm,
or an injury. Okay. No matter what damages the brain, the healing process is the same.
mm-hmm,
And it takes 24 months for your brain to reach its new maximum capacity, right? Wherever you're going to be, you got 24 months to get there.
mm-hmm,
And I will tell you, it is the most difficult walk I've ever walked. And you
mm-hmm.
do walk it alone. Even when you're surrounded by people who take care of you and watch out for you, nobody walks it but you and him.
Yep.
And when I say him, it flips me back to the whole, footprints in the sand concept.
Mm-hmm,
And what I've come to learn in this healing process is usually that one set of footprints is the other angel that's carrying you.
mm-hmm,
Maybe not necessarily him factually, you don't see God coming down here, but he puts that person there
mm-hmm,
that holds you up when you can't hold yourself up, right? So you can't heal if you can't rest.
mm-hmm.
Who can rest in the world we live in?
There's a
So
lot.
if you can't rest, how can you heal?
Yes.
And you need 24 months. Our world does not provide that.
What would you say to our viewers listening? We hear people moving from fear to faith. How has your faith grown through your journey in trauma, through your head injuries, through what you had to go through, which only you understand at this moment? How has your faith grown?
Uh, well, I will tell you, I have always walked by faith. I was raised Southern Baptist, great grandparents, youth group, car washes, bake sales, trips to Florida, in the midst of all of the childhood trauma that we have been taught to stuff down, right? These were the highlights.
Yep.
So I don't think my faith ever really wavered. I mean, I literally supported a family of 4 on $600 a month for a decade.
Ooh, that's
And never asked why.
pretty creative to do that.
But he provided everything that I needed,
Mm-hmm.
right? So through everything, one of the angels that, he sent to help take care of me, he provided land, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then he has also provided us with all different aspects of homesteading, right? I'm sick. Like, I fight every day just to get up and brush my teeth and make it to work without getting fired because I'm still in the healing process myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? So are they. But where I can teach them and they can go and create the ripple effect for, like, I'm going to teach the people that are here right now. I have 5 people, 6 people now. In my opinion, in 2 years from now, those 6 people turn into 60.
Mm-hmm.
And those 60 turn into 600. And they are going to come to you with the message that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay, but it's okay. I got you. You need to sleep 12 hours today. I'll bring you a dinner plate. I'll wrap it up. You eat it when you get hungry. Because another thing that we have been taught is food is good, nutrients, da 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 da. We are supposed to eat to live, not live to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you're weighing your body down. You're taking energy away from the natural born gifts that were given to you in your genetics and your DNA in this universe. You're weighing those down with all of these poisons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then, like, you don't feel good. No, you're not allergic to that. Well, the doctor told you you're not allergic. So why would you quit? Right? We're taught to trust our doctors, right? That's our doctor.
Yeah.
Only they're not allowed to be your doctor. You have to advocate for yourself. If you can't advocate for you and what's right for you and respect your similarities and your differences and trust him to take you. Let me tell you about my faith. I'm going to show you my faith right now. If I can figure out how to turn this around. Actually, this is my faith.
Wow.
That's our garden. That's going to feed our people.
Yeah.
Be the
Wow.
common area up here for if you're well enough to communicate with people today.
Yeah.
Down there over the ridge is the whole road that our people will have pods in.
Uh-huh.
Solar power. No power bill. I'm down by the creek. We have a cistern. We have our own filtration system, which I'm going to actually, I've met Robert McMath, the marine biologist that works for Operation Compassion. I've met him and his wife. And once we, get a little more infrastructure, I'm going to get in touch with him and see if I can't get one of his larger, like, village style filtration systems for up here. So there's no power bill. There's no water bill. We're going to build you a pod so that once you're well enough and you have
Mm-hmm.
a direction on where you're supposed to go, because now you can sit with yourself now. You don't have to run from yourself anymore. You can accept yourself. You can acknowledge your strengths and your weaknesses and your goals. And then when you're ready to launch, you take your pod, your little mobile pod, and go on to your new life. You got a roof over your head, power. You're next to a water source. You got water to do what you were put here to do.
Wow. Are you familiar with Elon Musk's little pods? They start at 7,500, and they're self-contained units that need land, but they provide an affordable way for people to get solar, the rainwater from the rain. I just remember when I was watching it,
Mm-hmm.
man, I love the idea of having a self-contained pod on with a group of people that have a common interest, because we're born to connect. We're born to be relationship, but the cost of housing and the cost of living has gone up so
I,
much.
as a woman with an education, with medical restraints, still,
Hmm.
right? I'm still growing, I'm still healing.
Hmm.
I cannot even afford to feed myself.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Going back
It's
to the faith,
yeah.
right? The man that owns this property, the Lord sent him to take care of me. He was his wife's caretaker until she passed away. And if it were not for this man, I would not have survived. Just want to say that.
Hmm.
It's like one of my best friends. So he's like, money, 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 because men are genetically programmed to be providers, right?
Hmm.
It is their job to put the materials for the homestead there for the female to homestead, right? And naturally, collectively, as a village, this is how we all heal. We all lean on each other, right?
Hmm.
So he's like, how are we going to do this? We don't have any material. I can't afford it. Like, you don't make any money, which I ain't never had no money. God didn't give me money because I just give it all away. So, little Mr. Buddy over in Summerville, Georgia, was about to torch all this. Now, mind you, there's 3 times this that I still got to go get, but
Hmm.
resources and energy are limited around here. That's how many pots or how many storage sheds for these people's stuff so they
Hmm.
don't have to leave everything,
Yeah.
right?
Whereabouts is it located?
This particular facility, it's not even a facility. I can't say that because right now it is residentially zoned for one homestead.
Okay.
Okay. I haven't dug into all the, you know, all that stuff. We'll
Hmm.
work with that when the time presents itself. Everyone that is here is 100% mobile, and only 2 people are here 100% of the time because
Hmm.
we have to build it, right?
Hmm.
So the people that are building, while they're building, they're healing,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So this is up in Northwest Georgia in Lyerly. Because who better to help heal the broken than the broken?
Hmm. Oh yeah.
How can
No.
you help me walk a walk down a street that you've never even drove past?
Hmm.
So the people that have been provided come from all walks of life
Hmm.
for this direct community.
Hmm.
I would like to, in the long run, have these compounds all over the country
Hmm.
ran by the broken people of that area
Yeah.
for the broken people of that area.
Hmm.
And everything you put in, he'll give you back tenfold if you got the faith for it. You got to give it open heartedly,
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Hmm.
So it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. So that this up here will be funded pretty much by catnip. Our catnip will probably be going in the ground this week.
Hmm.
We're expecting probably about 7 acres worth of yield. So that will cover a lot of the infrastructure here. And then if that's what folks want to do, in their healing process, which being out in the sun, yard work and stuff, that's my element. That's where I'm the calmest, right? And everybody's different. Some people it's water, some people it's, engines. I live for music. I love to sing. That's a therapy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever works for you. I'm going to have a standalone library. I'm going to have a standalone art studio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever gets you to your core. Because what's right for you ain't right for me. So let's learn about it. Let's respect it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop taking each other's knees out. Because all we're doing is hurting our babies. And I know my babies have suffered a lot.
Yeah. I love your vision. And, a lot of times we get older and our vision gets smaller instead of bigger. What, because, when we're kids, we have this grandiose vision, but then society kind of beats it down to where we're afraid to share our vision because we're afraid of being judged or people saying that's crazy. How is
Okay,
your,
so
have you
this is
handled growing your vision?
this is crazy. Okay, so light or love or whatever you classify this ability that I have, however you classify it, depending on who you are, where you're from. So my grandmother was like this.
Mm-hmm.
She was very sick as well. And everybody pretty much cast her out, judged her. She was crazy, this, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
other, right? So I think when I was born, I think that they seen a lot of the capabilities in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad literally spent, me and my brother have this conversation often about my dad because my dad was not his dad. So when things went south, he didn't get to go with us.
Mm-hmm.
He has not been able to grab the bull by the horns, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So my
Yeah.
dad literally trained me like a drill sergeant mentally my whole life. He wanted me to go in the army because he thought I would end up running it. Mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. There's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Mm-hmm.
Why worry? Either you'll die or you won't. Worry and don't change it.
Yep.
Never let them see you flinch. Never let them see you blink.
Mm-hmm.
It only hurts if you say it hurts, and it'll quit hurting when the pain goes away. These are things that I get intimidated by something, step back, take a deep breath, close my eyes, open my eyes, and do it. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad always taught me. He's like, you can't let people know. Like the world is going to eat you alive. And boy, has it tried.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually stood face to face and had a whole conversation with the Lord the night of my TBI. Like a whole argument. It wasn't even a conversation. It was an argument. Because my children weren't ready. My people weren't ready. So I came back. Let me come back. And although I really didn't come back, I was here physically, which maybe that's what they needed. I thought I would be the same, and I wasn't. And I won't ever be again. But the girl that took care of me and my daughter for a long time after I got hurt, she took me to a Christian concert. She's really big into Christian music.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, like, as the stadium rumbled with people just worshiping God and just feeling the spirit, and the song was I'm taking back what the enemy stole, taking it all back because I'm a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to teach them how to survive too, because this is not okay.
Yeah. No,
Being
that's
told what I experienced was my fault is not okay. Being told what I went through, I made up, is not okay. being told that if I kept talking, that they were going to charge me with a whole slew of felonies is not okay. The 150 plus other women and men in my inbox with their own testimonies of their trauma from
Mm-hmm.
this ring of old money is
Mm-hmm.
not okay.
Where
It's
did
not
you,
okay.
at what point did you feel that you had the fight in you that you're sharing here? Was it as a younger age? Did it come later in life? But you obviously have, that fight, which it's
At
hard to
birth,
really.
I mean, like, not to, like, cast negativity or, anything like that, but I literally fought for my life every day until I
Hmm.
was almost 12 years old. And the night that I got the TBI, the detective, when I went in for, the interview or whatever, he, this mug told me to my face, I don't believe you. There is no way a woman of your stature could fight off an assailant in the way that you're describing to me. And my response was, which one of my 5 brothers' phone numbers would you like? Because I'm the one they don't mess with. When they
Hmm.
called and told my stepdad, what happened to me, when my mom called him, he's like, if you're going to be coming up with some jacked up stories, you better find the proper characters. Because nobody thought anyone would ever take me.
Hmm.
2 chaperones, a driver, a hotel, and I'm gone.
Hmm.
And then, no, my whole life I've had to fight.
Ooh, that's, it, people want to get that fight because you have to stick up for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. And a lot of
You are
times,
the only you get.
that's exactly, we talk about the magic is in you and then anything's possible. And, the I want to commend you for sharing with our viewers because people need that fight. They need to fight for themselves. They need
They
to,
need to know they're not fighting alone.
yes, exactly. And I think we're seeing a lot of changes, but we need people like yourself to advocate for people until they can develop the fight that you just shared with our
But
viewers.
everybody's so tired.
Yeah.
Everyone is so tired. Everyone is so sick. And everything, I mean, literally, you're going to think about this later. And everybody that watches this, they're going to be like laying in bed tonight going, wow, everything that we have been taught is wrong. Therefore, we have been taught wrong. We have lived wrong and we have
Hmm.
taught wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot to
How
be
long is it
said.
going to take to fix that?
Yeah, well, it takes people to advocate, to activate. When you talked about the servant, to share, to help, to support, to reach out. When you do that, our heart starts to mend, and when we lose something, if we can pour into others, and because you can't change the past, you can only advocate for the future.
That's
So,
a whole nother lesson that I give people
yeah.
is, and all right, so this is how I describe it to my people. All right. And I say my people because I love everybody, right?
Mm.
We're all our people, right?
Yep.
So the way that I describe this is you will not ever be able to give back to those who have given to you However, you will not ever receive from those that you give to, because that's not how a circle works. Water does not flow uphill without a pump.
Yeah. That's so true. Wise. Tell, like, I know you as Jennifer, but Peaches, is that a name that was that your brothers
That-
or family? How did you get
no,
Peaches?
it's actually my road name.
Okay.
I'm a biker at heart. Peaches has been my road name for about a little over a decade now.
Hmm.
Um, and I just always thought it was because everybody thinks I'm sweet. So we'll just go with that.
Yeah.
So the place that I was drugged and taken from was called Peaches. It was a music venue on Broad Street in Rome, Georgia. And once I realized the multitude of targets that they had, and the young girl in her early 20s in prison because they served her underage, and she got behind the wheel of a car and had an accident and sent a mother's son home to her as a quadriplegic who died right after my attack. While the girl is in prison, the boy is in the ground. And these people are still
Doing what they
doing
do.
whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I was Peaches long before they ever came around.
Hmm.
And I'm still Peaches long after we shut them down.
Awesome.
But with that being said, all we did was disperse them.
Yeah.
How did I disperse something that doesn't exist?
Hmm.
You tell me. You think the ripple effect from all of these targets has not affected hundreds of miles around the city of Rome?
Hmm.
I did not know. I actually have an adopted relative. You handpick your own family sometimes.
Hmm.
One of my adopted nieces was assaulted in her home 2 years before I was assaulted. And, they blamed her for it, whatever. When he came back to do it again, they would not even come out and file the police report. I took her dog and she left the state with her kids. She's now across the country. It took me 6 months to connect after I got hurt that it was the same people.
Wow. Well, we can't change the past, but we can certainly advocate and activate you to do more to help support the people that can't. It's like a hand up to help support a person as they make it their way back. So I want to our viewers tell our viewers what would be the one thing you would want our viewers to take home from our podcast today.
You're not alone,
Hmm.
even when you're sitting there next to someone and that person is not there with you. You are not alone. There are so many of us out here. Even if you can't relate to me, you know what? I got a girlfriend over here that's going to be advocating. She comes from a different walk of life than I do. And
Hmm.
we literally sit here and heal each other.
Hmm.
Okay, well, how do you interpret this? How do you interpret that? Because at the end of the day, our perception is our reality. And our reality is based on our experiences, our education,
Hmm.
and our available resources. And they are not equal for everyone.
Nope. No, they are
It's
never.
okay. It's not okay, but it's going to be okay. Learn to sit with yourself, listen to yourself, and then you can fly. That's what I would say.
Awesome. I want to thank you. Can I call you Peaches?
Always.
Okay. Peaches, thank you so much for being our guest. We'll put in the show notes how people can get a hold of you because I have a feeling the ripple effect is just beginning.
Oh, it's going to be. I sit here and I tell our people here, because I don't look around and see what it is. I look around and see where it's going, and
Hmm.
I'm like the tidal wave. It's going to be
Yeah.
a tidal wave, and it's going to be beautiful
Yes.
because we're planting the seeds that grow in the valley.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Peaches, thank you so much for sharing
absolutely. Thank you.
a little bit of your story. We'd love to have you back so our viewers can get to know you more and know how they can support you in
Okay.
your desire to serve in your capacity based on your experiences that are so powerful for our viewers to learn from.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for being a guest.
Absolutely.